let's move on to our next part, creating our gradient, coding our gradient. But before doing that, we must understand why should we code gradient. There are practically thousands of other CSS generating softwares out in this internet. You can practically get all those coding from the internet, off the internet, and you can use them. Then why such live coding? What is the necessity of live coding then? Coding is always a required thing. Suppose that you are doing your project and your client wants everything to be original. That means every coding, those should be made by your hands. So that is why it is always a good thing that you are capable of code yourself. You are capable of create your own set of coding in order to accomplish something. And that is what we are going to create over here. So today we are going to create some new coding here about this CSS3 gradient. Let's go ahead, and as we can see that this is the last part where we stop. We have created all those text, shadow, border, radius properties, but right now we will dive into create gradient. Now in case of a gradient, there's practically two kind of gradients are out there. The first one is the linear gradient and the second one is radial gradient. So these are the two kind of gradients. Those are being used in CSS3 and we need to code them. In order to do that, the very first thing that we are going to do, we will try to code ourselves. We will try to code the gradient, the linear gradient. So let's hop in. In the very first case, all we are now going to do, so this is in order the first thing that we have created. We have created a new gradient holder. But you have to remember, every time, whenever you are trying to do something, you are trying to accomplish something, always try to wrap them inside a parent wrapper. Now let's get back to, first of all, copy this class name. Now let's get back to index.html, and here, by the end, all we are trying to do now, we are trying to create a linear gradient here. Okay, so now we can see that this is the output right over here. This is the output, and in this case there is a solid color as a background of this particular div. So all we are now going to do, we are going to get back to stylesheet.css, and here we will be removing this background, but instead, first of all, copy this code. Now all we have to do, we have to remove this background. Now instead of this background, we will be practically using here this background image property. We will have to declare what kind of gradient is being used over here. It is the linear gradient type, and within this first bracket, all we need to do, we need to put all those colors, those we want to use into our linear gradient as the color stop. So we have to define the color stops here, and in the first case we are going to use only two colors. So this one will be the first color, and this one will be the second color stop. So we have two color stops right over here. Now if we press Ctrl S, we need to remove this semicolon over here. We do not wish to have any semicolon. Instead, we need to put a comma. That is why there wasn't any display over here. And now we can see that a new block has been generated with two different color stops over there. The first one is this cyan type, and the second one is this particular purple type. Now as we can see that we have to bring on this linear gradient as the background image, and in this case too, all we need to do, we need to put all those hack codes right over here. So never forget to put this particular hack codes ever. So we have created all those things. Right now we are going to make any kind of changes only in these single places, but all you need to do, you need to follow this particular code in every part of this particular set. Now this is practically a default value that the gradient is directed from the top to the bottom end, we are going to put it from left to right. So all we need to do, we need to declare it over here to right. Then comes the color code. And now if we reload, we can see that this is the first color. It is appearing to the extreme left, and from this extreme left it is now changing into a different color in this extreme right position. In the similar fashion, if we want it to be placed in a reverse direction, then all we need to do, we need to put it as if here to left, and there it goes. We can now see that the color combination is now been reversed. The blue one is initiated from the right and it is now changing into the purple one to the extreme left. In the same manner, if we want to reverse the default position, the default direction of this particular background position, then all we need to do, we need to provide here to top. And now we can see that the reverse of the particular default direction is taking place. And if we want it to be appear as a diagonal one, then we need to define both of these position here, bottom right. That means all we wish, here it comes, we wish that the blue one should appear from this extreme top left end, and then it should be diverging itself into this extreme right position, into the bottom right position. That means this particular gradient with a starting color of blue, it will be initiated from this top left position and it will be diverged into this bottom right position with a solid color of purple. Now there's practically another method by which we can define the direction of gradient here. Instead of this to bottom right or to left or to top or right, all we can do over here, we can define the angular value, and that is how we can change the direction of a particular gradient type. So all we are now going to do, we are going to put a degree here. This is the 45-degree angular gradient, and we can see that the angular gradient is now initiated from this bottom left position and it is now diverging itself towards a 45-degree and it is ending into this top right position. And if we want to reverse it, then we need to make some particular amendment here like this 135-degree, and we can see that the reverse direction is now occurring. All you need to do, you need to calculate the ordinate values and you need to set it in the first place, and the maximum value of this particular direction of this particular angle should never exceed 360 degree. It should be always restricted within 360 degree, this valuation, and then we'll be getting all these desired results over here. Now what if we want to use more than two colors? So it's quite easy. We will be using the common RGB value that we have used in our previous cases. Now all we are going to do, we are creating here the first one red, the second one is green, the third one is blue. Now if we just press Ctrl S, we can see that the first gradient color, it is practically red, the second one is green, and the third one is blue, and the direction of this gradient by default is from top to the bottom. In the similar fashion, if we want to appear in the right direction, then this is the result. Sorry, we need to put another comma right over here, and here it goes. We can see now that starting from left, the red color, then comes the green color, and then comes the blue color, and it is practically serially organized in the extreme right position. If we want to put it in a diagonal condition, then all we need to do, we need to mention this bottom right condition here, and by this way we are going to make it a diagonal value. Just observe the result here. There it goes. Starting from red, then comes the green, then comes the blue, and all in a particular diagonal condition. Now this is the thing that we need to know from this tutorial. In the next tutorial we are going to discuss about the radial gradient, and then we should be discussing about this particular repeating gradients. So hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.